Leanne, final pre-season test for the squad against Sunderland, but of course your first game as head coach. How do you sort of reflect on that 90 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a hectic 48 hours, I would need to say. Obviously delighted to meet the girls yesterday, got on the pitch with them very briefly in the afternoon, and then before you know it, you're straight into a 90-minute game in terms of a bit of non-competitive action, but you're still looking to try and take as much from it as you possibly can. And I think when you look at the performance and you look at the squad that we've got, we've been at the bare bones in terms of pre-season and a really demanding schedule over the last number of weeks. So I think first and foremost credit to the players and the staff for everything that they've put into that period in time. Today was probably just a stretch too far in terms of really getting out at what we would have hoped. But having said that, I thought the performance in the second half and certainly the response to concede quick-fire goals in the first half, I think offsets you and kind of puts you in the back foot. But I felt the response was really good in terms of the second half, and you know, it would have been nice if we had got something from it in the performance.
Yeah, of course you named a mixture of youth and experience. You touched on the demanding week the squad have just had in Italy as well. Was that coming into the thinking that players' minutes needed to be managed and players needed opportunities as well?
Absolutely. I mean, for us it was, the reality is to come through this game this afternoon unscathed, and we don't want to carry any more injuries into the start of the season. It's ultimately about next week and being ready. But a week in Sunday's time, against Montrose on the 17th of August, that's when it will really start. So we need everybody by then to be fit and available, and so far in pre-season we've managed to manage that. Certainly today was more about that, and the young players have been fantastic. I've seen that from afar without coming into the club, and I've seen that again this afternoon. I think when you look at the quality that's there in terms of the young players that are coming through at the club, getting that opportunity this afternoon again to get really good minutes in the legs with first team players, to go and look to try and bridge that gap for them, I think is really good, and ultimately it will set them up for the season ahead as well. And for the senior players within the group as well, it's a well worth exercise.
Yeah, you mentioned there was obviously positives to take. Now, I know you haven't been in charge for the full pre-season schedule, but
yeah,
how would you sort of reflect on the time? Good experience for the squad out in Italy, played some top teams, now just about nailing down and getting ready for Montrose.
Absolutely, and that was ultimately the debrief at the end of the game as well. It's the pre-season games are now done. I think everybody's put an awful lot of work into pre-season and a bit of uncertainty as well, which I can fully understand in terms of the transition in the club and where it's been over the summer. So I think the reality is now, the last 48 hours is kind of settled things down, and I've managed to get in the door and certainly meet everybody, and we'll just look to bring all that together. And as I mentioned, the focus now is Montrose and being ready and having as many players as possible fit and ready to go for the start of the season. We know it will still be early doors and there'll still be a bit of work to done, even in terms of transfers and looking to try and add to the squad. So that's a really exciting time for myself and obviously the staff as well. But I'd just like to echo the work that they've put in over pre-season. I think everybody's in a really good position to move forward.